Tyler. I have gigs. Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where are you at? Are you in New York or Los Angeles?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. So then you're just hanging out with great weather then.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful out here.
Terrific. Hey, so let's quickly get started then. Hey, could you tell me what attracted you to this project?
What attracted me to it? Okay, well, it was just something I had done before, first of all, and I thought it was a nice balance to some of the other projects I had just finished doing over the last few years. I liked how it wasn't like what I normally read. Like, I found the humor in it appealing, but also there was a side of it that felt very like sort of a case study on culture and how it affects, how pop culture can affect somebody growing up, especially in the '90s. And I really was attracted to that. I was like, oh, cool, period piece. You know what I mean? So just absolutely the '90s. Because I grew up in the '90s a little bit, but I wasn't a high schooler when that happened. So it was cool to see that perspective as well. But I also just, I kind of related to the character in some ways. I never took the same actions he does in the film, per se, because they're so specific to time and place and where he's mixed up. But there were elements that I could connect to in my own life, and I thought maybe I could bring something to it. And so, yeah.
Now, you said you related to the character. Could you be more specific on how are you talking about like high school experiences?
Well, sure, yeah. I know that when I was younger, what's going on around you seems like the most important thing at the moment. And it's not always what's actually going on around you. It's what the pop culture world is telling you is going on. What it means to be cool. What it means to be somebody. And specifically, like when I was younger, I was always told, you're bombarded with like, what's a good example? I don't know. Just, trying to be, like, what it means to be cool, like, on all levels. Like, I don't know what specifically I can get into here without giving too much away. But, like, when you're in high school or middle school, like when you're pressured to, like, have your first kiss by a certain age.
Okay.
That's one example, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's a really big one. But, like, what if you're not ready? Or what if you haven't found someone that you really connect with? It doesn't matter. If you haven't kissed anyone by the time you're 13, you're a loser. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what people say. So you feel this pressure to be somebody. And it's like, is it actually about the kiss, or is it about the status of having kissed someone by a certain age? You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I as a younger kid, I was fairly nerdy.
Yeah.
I like to think that I made smarter decisions than Joey did.
Yeah.
My character in the film. But at the same time, I empathized with the character enough to know what he was going through when I read the script, and was like, oh, I could, I feel like I get this kid, and I felt like the trap was to not make him he had to be really likable, even though he's doing all this ridiculous stuff. So I was like, I had to have empathy for him, I had to play that. But as far as relating to him, I could see, like, why he was doing what he was doing, even though everyone around him is trying to show him, like, dude, like, this isn't, I mean, not everyone around him, but those who he's close to are trying to show him, like, this isn't what you really need. He's just so blind to it. To be somebody else. And it's funny because of that. It's humorous. It's also kind of sad, but you laugh at him too. And you still kind of like him. It's all rolled into one.
Now, how did you prepare to play a white boy who pretends to be black?
I don't know how to answer. This is a loaded question. Well, when I got to the set, which we shot on location in Tacoma Park, it wasn't really a set per se, it was just a location. When I got to the location, we were some of the other actors that had been cast were local black kids from the city, and who were cast like on the basketball team. So I tried to hang with them a little bit, and sort of get the vibe. We played basketball in between takes, and stuff like when they were setting up shots. There was a gym, especially when we were shooting in the high school. We would still play basketball. I would just like join in, even though I felt like completely like I didn't know what I was doing, and most of them were like way better than me. And, like I would just like jump in, with like whatever I thought Joey might have the confidence to do, just whatever was pushing him to do it. I just tried, and I would sort of base a lot of what I did off of actually Dave Andelman, one of the writers and directors, because though Joey is not specifically based off of Dave, they grew up in that time and in that place where we shot the movie. He's a white guy, and like I'm sure he joined the basketball team, and I don't know like if he was trying to be black or whatever, but I noticed like he's got more of the mannerisms and the speech pattern that I was trying to get across, like somebody who would maybe, I just picked him almost not arbitrarily, but like as a sort of a basis. I just want to make sure that it's clear that he wasn't necessarily who Joey was written to be based off of. But that I chose to use a little bit of him, as well as what was happening in the moment on set with these guys. It was mostly me just trying to be something that I wasn't. Like, and Tyler, the actor, was conscious of that the whole time. But, I wanted the character to be so deluded into thinking that he was really pulling this off. You know what I mean? And in some cases, he is pulling it off. He is, because he at least is getting the girls for whatever reason. Maybe they're deluded too, but we're all, it's all, in high school, it's very hard to figure out what really matters in high school.
Yeah, that's true. Now, your character Jolie has a lot of basketball background to it, but it seems like you didn't really play that much basketball. Did you practice any specific type of moves, especially the spinning of the ball?
Actually, yes. The spinning of the ball is not the only one I practiced, and that's not true. I mean, I would hit the court, but I didn't want to get too good. I wanted to be in the process of trying to be good, but I wanted to be more about status than anything. I wanted to be able to seem like I could hang with the guys and give him my best shot, but I didn't want to be so good that I was actually better than anyone. I think that's the problem. I don't think that would happen even if I wanted it to. But as far as spinning the ball, actually, I thought, here's a kid who's more obsessed with the way things appear and look than anything. So, that was like the one trick. Like, I was like, I have to get this down. So I did. Like, like the month or so before we started shooting, I was just constantly getting that spin down.
Yeah.
And he put it in the film a couple times. I love it. Like, I tried to pull it out anytime I could. And I'm glad. It's funny you brought that up. Yeah.
No, that was pretty awesome though. Now this is being a dark comedy, so there were some kind of disturbing jokes now and then. What was the hardest part for you in this project? That were like some jokes that you kind of got taken back with.
I see. The hardest part was keeping a character likable. It through those jokes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had to find a way to deliver them where it was tough, and I'm not. I mean, there are times when I'm like, did that work, or I don't know, but you had to do it in such a way that the viewer, the audience member, is still empathizing with this character, and like still either feels bad with him, but still sort of finds the humor. And I tried to find the balance between when he delivered something that was actually like straight up funny, like you're supposed to like laugh at that, no holds barred, and versus when you laugh at it a little bit, you're kind of also going like, oh god, you have a little sick feeling in your stomach, like I shouldn't really be laughing at You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what
And
you
that was just delicate. I felt like if it was too much, then I did err on the side of playing. Maybe, I don't know if this is the right choice or not, but I did err on the side of making it more like the character was sort of confused. You know? Like, he's saying it this way, but he's not delivering it as a joke. Like, he doesn't realize it's, you know, funny or whatever. I don't know. I know you're not supposed to do that anyway. Comedy's hard for me. I'll just straight up admit it. This was a bit of a challenge, but and I'm still learning how to handle comedy. But I think you know, this is good. This film definitely exercised those muscles. So for better or for worse, I don't know. You guys be the judge. You guys be the judge.
That's true. Hey, how was it like to work with other cast members on this project, particularly with when you were working with Georgia Ford? Did you ever thought of that you were working with the daughter of Harrison Ford?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you first of all of them: Eshawn Bay, Sharika F., Georgia Ford, and then working even with like the guys with my coach Danny Burstein and the teacher Leo Fitzpatrick. They were all really generous scene partners. I'll tell you that much. Like, they were awesome to work with as far as like being in the moment and like very professional about it. And then some of the actors, like, I was able to connect with more offset as well, particularly the three kids, like me, Isha, Georgia, Sharika. Like, we would hang out, and because we're all about the same age, you know, it just made sense. But it was cool. Working with Georgia specifically, I don't know. Like, from the beginning, it never really, like, I didn't really, like, let the fact that she was Harrison's daughter, like, you know, like, I don't know, that never really seemed to be a big issue. It was like, okay, she's here, she got this role, you know, we're cool. And I talked to her just like she was another person, you know, and we worked together, like, two people who never worked together did, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and it's not like she talked about her dad. I don't think she really, I mean, I'm not going to put words into her mouth, but I think it was probably better that we didn't, like, make that an issue, you know? I think Eshawn and I, like, got along really well as well, because we were housing together. So we were, like, we get along, we were playing best friends in the movie, but in real life on set, we had a pretty strong connection. We still keep in touch. She's in London right now, but we still keep in touch, you know, Facebook or whatever. And then I keep in touch with all of them, actually. But Sharika and I also have a nice special bond. But ours was more. It's funny because through the shoot, we got along and we talked a lot. But it wasn't until after the shoot that we started to really, like, drop the character a little bit more and, like, really. I mean, you know, I don't know. It's not that we dropped it. That we held on to the character off set, but oh gosh, I'm so bad at articulation. I'm sorry, I'm a little self-conscious.
That's okay.
But yeah, no. How do I put this? Sharika and I were tight, and George and I were tight, and Isha and I were tight. We all had our own individual bonds. It was weird because it was never like. I will say it never felt like even though we all hung out together, the four of us. Occasionally, it still felt like I had these one-on-one bonds with each of them, rather than like, oh yeah, it's the group, you know? Like, we were referred to as the group, you know? It's like, oh, this is the gang of guys, but I felt a very strong individual connection with each of them.
Okay, terrific.
And I think that really helped when it came to shooting.
That sounds great. And now, you didn't really live too much in the 90s. Were anything that you were astonished when you're doing a period piece like the 90s like this of some of the technologies or toys that you saw around the set?
Well, honestly, I lived through all of the 90s. I was born in 89, so even though I was really young, I made it through them all. I remember them. I just, once I hit high school, the internet was a little bit further along, you know, obviously. But I do remember when the internet was coming out, which is sort of a big thing for some reason in our phone, like just that timeline that has something to do with it. But the music was probably the biggest difference for me. Like, I wasn't into that music really growing up because, first of all, I was raised in the Southern Baptist Christian community, so I wasn't really exposed to a lot of this stuff. But also, you know, the timeline hit differently. And now I've been able, through working in the film and doing the research, to really open up my world when it comes to that side of the music, or that era of music and that style. I'm talking like Biggie and Tupac and Eazy-E and Dr. Dre and all those guys.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I'm trying to think. Oh, the Game Boy. I'm playing a Game Boy at one point, like an old school gray brick Game Boy. One of the first CDs, I think, and I remember having one of those. So that was cool. That was like a flashback. And also the outfits, all the outfits, especially there's one jacket. It's like a pullover, but the colors are like that sort of neon pink and blue. I'm talking about those really 90s green, colors. And it just reminded me, like a total flashback. Windbreaker. It was like a windbreaker. I remember windbreakers.
Yeah.
Really specifically. So that was cool. It was a little bit of a throwback.
Okay. And let me go ahead and wrap this up. Do you have any other future projects that you are working on?
I'm still auditioning a lot right now. I did a few guest stars. I actually got close to getting a feature recently, and found out yesterday they went with the other guy, so I was telling about that. But, it's just a grind. I've done a couple TV guest stars, and I don't have any upcoming features that I'm working on. Oh, there is one that is not, officially a done deal yet, but I can probably tell you. I did a film called The Wise Kids, which will actually hit Netflix instant September 17th, so you should check that out. And the director and writer of that, Stephen Cohn, is a good friend of mine, and he's writing another film that I may shoot sometime next year. So we'll see. That has not been officially cleared through anybody yet, so I don't know how much I can say, but I do know that that's the intention. We've even had a table read already, so it's pretty cool.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you for this talk and discussion about your movie American Milkshake. Congratulations, and especially being named of at Sundance as being one of the future stars to be watched.
Yeah, that was cool. Thank you.
Okay. I'll interview you sometime next year too with your future projects. Okay.
All right. Cool. I hope to hear from you again.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Bye bye.